Hey boys and girls, today for our math lesson we're going to work on solving story problems. This lesson's kind of a fun one because this is actual real life things that you could be doing when we actually get to leave our houses and you go somewhere as a family. So this family for this story problem they're going to go visit an orchard. And at the orchard they can go on hay rides. And so we're going to read through the problems, read through the scenarios, and we're going to use this chart to help us solve the story problems about Lena and her family. So let's go ahead and get started. Lena's family visits Little Tree Apple Orchard. Use RDW process to solve the problems about Lena's visit to the orchard. Use a letter to represent the unknown in each problem. Number 1. The sign below shows information about hay rides at the orchard. So we can look at this sign here, and we can see that an adult ticket for one adult to go on the hayride, it's going to cost $7. For one child to go, it's going to cost us $4. And we also can see that the hayride leaves every 15 minutes starting at 11 o'clock. So we're going to be looking back at this chart to help us solve these problems down here. So let's get started with letter A. Lena's family buys 2 adult tickets and 2 child tickets for the hayride. How much does it cost Lena's family to go on the hayride? Okay, so I know I need 2 adult tickets and 2 child tickets. And my question is, how much does it cost Lena's family to go on the hayride? So I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to see an adult ticket costs $7, and they need 2 adult tickets. So I'm going to write 2 times 7. And then I also know that Lena's family needs 2 child tickets. So I'm going to write 2 times 4. Because a child ticket costs $4. And I'm going to use those parentheses that we talked about way back at the beginning of 3rd grade with a plus in between. So we can look here once again. And I have my first problem. 2 adults times $7 for a ticket. So we're going to find out how much it'll cost for each adult to go, for the adults. And then we're going to figure out the cost for the kids. So we have 2 kids times $4 each. So then I'm going to take 2 times 7 equals 14 plus 2 times 4 equals 8. I'm going to figure that all together. Oh, I did forget one thing. Back up here, it wants us to use a letter to represent the unknown in each problem. So I'm going to come down here, and I know my adults. I'm going to call that A for adults, and then I have my kids equals C. I want to know the whole cost. And I'm going to come back here. So I have $14 for the adults plus $8 for the kids. 14 plus 8 equals 22. Okay, so then I know that C, the cost for the whole family to ride, is $22. And I can come over here and I'm going to type that in. Let's say it will cost Lena's, family $22 to go on the hayride. Period. Oops. Okay, so that is the answer for problem A. Now we'll go ahead and we'll go on and we'll solve problem B. Lena's mom pays for the tickets with $5 bills. She receives $3 in change. How many $5 bills does Lena's mom use to pay for the hay rides? So let's see what we know. We know that it will cost, or we know that Lena's mom pays with $5 bills. We know she gets $3 back in change. And what we need to know, what our question is how many $5 bills does Lena's mom use to pay for the hayride? So let's start with what we know first. So we do know that it costs $22 for the family to ride on the hayride. So I'm going to do $22 plus $3 to figure out how much Lena's mom paid. Lena's mom paid. Okay, and we're going to call this P. Okay, so 22 plus 3 equals 25. So we know that Lena's mom paid, whoops, let me see if I can write a little nicer. Lena's mom paid $25. So we could say P equals 25. I'll write our P here again. That's kind of a mess. I'm using a new app today, boys and girls, and I kind of like it. Okay, so 25 equals P. So we know that Lena's mom paid $25, or gave the cashier $25 to go on the hayride. So now we need to know how many dollar bills Lena's mom paid with. So we know we have D dollar bills times 5 equals 25. So D represents the number of dollar bills that Lena's mom used. Okay, and we know that each of the bills that she paid with is worth $5, and we know that she gave him 25, $25 altogether. So I'm going to think D times 5 equals 25. So what times 5 equals 25? You're right. D equals 5. So my answer is say Lena's mom paid with $5 bills. And then that is the answer to letter B. Now we'll go ahead and we'll go on and we'll solve letter C. Lena's family wants to go on the 4th hayride of the day. It's 11:38 now. How many minutes do they have to wait for the 4th hayride? So now we're going to figure out how to do time again, and we haven't done time since the beginning of the school year either, so it's a good thing we're reviewing a lot of these skills. We reviewed parentheses, whoops, not sure what I just did, but we reviewed parentheses, we reviewed solving for the unknown, and now we're going to do some time. So let's go ahead and see what we know. We know her family wants to go on the 4th hayride of the day. We know it's 11:38 right now. And what it wants us to find out is how many minutes do they have to wait for the 4th hayride. Now, do you think there's any other information that we need? Yeah, you're right. We need to know up here at our chart. I'll draw a little line up here because we need to know that every hayride leaves 15 minutes starting at 11 o'clock. So now I'm going to draw a number line. So a lot of times it's easiest to do elapsed times problems on a number line. I'm going to put the start time of the first hayride is 11. Oops, not 11:15. first hayride is at 11 o'clock. And they leave every 15 minutes. So 11 o'clock plus 15 minutes. We'll do 11, 15. Another 15 minutes makes it 11, 30. Another 15 minutes would be 11, 45. Remember, they want to go on the 4th hayride. So I have my first hayride. We'll do this in a different color so you can see it better. We'll erase that so you can see it better so we're not running over so much stuff. So I have my first hayride, my second hayride, my third hayride, and now I have my 4th hayride. So now we know which hayride Linda's family wants to go on. They want to go on the 4th hayride, which will leave at 11:45. Now let's go back to our story problem. And we know right now that it's 11:38, and we need to see how many minutes do they have to wait for the 4th hayride. So I'm going to find 11:38 on my number line. So 11:38 would go between 11:30 and 11:45. So here I have 11:38, and we need to see how many minutes it is to 11:45. So I'm going to get to my closest 10. I'm going to add on 2 plus 2 minutes to get to, whoops, 11:40 plus 5 more to get to 11:45. So then I know 2 minutes plus 5 minutes equals 7 minutes. And so that tells me if it is 11:38 now, and they're leaving on the hayride that leaves at 11:45, they have 7 minutes to wait. So I will type that in for my answer. So Lena's family has to wait 7 minutes for the next hayride. Hey boys and girls, so now that you watched me do my lesson, or do my worksheet, now it's time for you to do yours. You're going to do this one for Max's family, right here. You're going to read the scenario about Max and his family and their trip to the zoo. You're going to need to use this chart to help you solve these problems, A, B, and C. And I'm only requiring that you just do number 1, A, B, and C. If you have time, I would like you to do 2, 3, and 4. But if you don't have time, then you don't need to worry about doing 2, 3, or 4. But once again, over here on 2, 3, and 4, you would still use this chart to help you solve all these problems. So once again, all these problems, you're going to need to refer to this chart to help you solve everything. You'll just do it on Google Classroom as a PDF. Make sure you save it and turn it in. I look forward to seeing your work.